like FPS games that involves going really fast? Do you like graphics that make your eyes bleed? Do you like crack and hallucinogens? Then boy, do I have the game for you. This is Post Void. You may be wondering what is the story of this game, and to be honest, I don't really know, and I don't think even the player character or the developers know either. This makes me wonder if this is the kind of game Hunter S. Thompson would make if he was a developer, because it has a very almost psychedelic vibe. In fact, a lot of people have been comparing this game to another game that almost fits that description, that game being Hotline Miami, and I totally get it. It has this, I don't know, trashy, grungy feel to the art style while also being something that visually arrests you as well. It reminds me of the trips I have when I mix Formula X with my coffee every morning. I see weird stuff, man. I see all these colors and I look down when I type and it just looks like my keyboard is eating my fingers. Next thing I know, the microphone starts talking to me. To some people, it's a nightmare. I just get a giggle out of it. What's that, Mr. Microphone? The flying spaghetti goldfish is outside my door and wants to eat my face? Oh no! It's terrible. Oh man, what's in this Formula X stuff? My coffee tastes great. The only thing I would warn you guys is that if you guys have bad eyesight like me, astigmatism, constant eye strain, or worse, seizures, then this game might not be for you. Now the game does have an accessibility mode, which I have on because it actually helped with my eye issues, because without it my eyes were just killing me. But even with it, it's also worth giving your eyes a break when you feel like your eyes are starting to melt out of your eye sockets. Aside from that, this game is pretty good otherwise. Well, anyways, how is the gameplay? Well, the game is actually pretty fun. It's fast, it's frenetic, aiming and shooting, jumping, sliding. The controls overall is very tight, and the game design is very suited to repeat playthroughs. Basically, the game's formula goes like this. You start a new game, you keep moving forward, shooting every psychedelic nightmare dirtbag in your sight, making sure not to stall as much as humanly possible, as you are on a timer being your idol, which is the glassy looking head holding the white liquid that bleeds from the neck, which also acts as your health. And when you get to the end of the level, you are given 3 options for upgrades, which is randomized every time. Some of the upgrades being super helpful, like new guns, like the shotgun and Uzi, 2 more ammo per mags, faster reloads, a compass that points to the exit, and more liquid in the idol. But there are also some upgrades that just seem absolutely pointless, like running backwards makes you faster. Why would you need that? I just don't know. Or even bodies explode on death, which doesn't seem to actually do anything other than to see enemies blow up. But it sure does look awesome. Now, while this game is a load of fun, just like how blowing up a dozen Stretch Armstrongs with a pound of tannerite on a farm is fun, the game is pretty difficult. In fact, there have been plenty of playthroughs where I start a new playthrough and I die within 40 seconds, which is irritating, but it never deterred me from playing the game. It's almost like in these moments, the game is saying, come on, hit the restart button, you know you want to do it. It's like a drug addiction, or Pringles. Once you pop, you can't stop. Now you may think, well, this sounds fun and all, but does it get boring after a while? And you know what? That is a valid question, but so far it actually hasn't. I think that's mainly due to the fact that most of the variety comes from progressing to the new levels, which has their own unique level designs on their own. They add new monsters as you progress. And most importantly, the game randomizes every time you play, so it gives you something new every time. And because most of the game's appeal is overcoming the challenge it gives you, getting the fastest times on each level, leaderboards, and attempting to make it to the end of the game to see what crazy crap the game throws at you next. I feel that's what keeps it fresh and prevents you from being bored. And even if the game starts to wear on you, it's the perfect type of game for getting in, playing for 30 minutes to an hour, and then getting out. Kind of like games like Downwell or Spelunky. It's perfect for getting your gun off, like Dougray Scott once said, and when you're done, you move on to something else. As a guy who's getting close to the dirty 30, I start to appreciate these kind of games more and more. Coming down to earth now, Post Void is available on Steam. It's a fantastic game and totally worth the asking price, which is about the cost of a cup of coffee. So if you're asking, hey man, is it worth it? All I got to say to you is if you can't afford a cup of coffee and don't like good games, then you are hopeless. Post Void, it's what's for dinner.